I'm Jeffrey Rosen, President and CEO of the National Constitution Center, and I'm thrilled that on Monday, December 15th, which is Bill of Rights Day, we are opening this new gallery, which you see around you, which displays one of the 12 original copies of the Bill of Rights. This is such a thrilling experience to be able to display this priceless document along with rare copies of the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. And I want to quickly show you around and explain how this gallery tells the story of how the rights that were promised in the Declaration are implicit in the Constitution and finally codified in the Bill of Rights. The first document we see is a rare copy of the Declaration of Independence. This is called the Stone Declaration because it was commissioned in 1823 by President John Quincy Adams. Basically, the declaration that is now in the National Archives, the original engrossed copy, was fading during the War of 1812. It got really beaten up. So John Quincy Adams decided they needed a really good copy. He commissioned this engraver called Stone, and by some accounts, Stone took some acid and lifted the original ink off the actual declaration to create this copy. So the Constitution is proposed in Independence Hall, right across the mall from the National Constitution Center, where I'm sitting here. It's proposed in 1789, and 2 days after the proposal, of course, Constitution Day, September 17th is the day of proposal. 2 days later, this copy is printed in a Pennsylvania Packet newspaper. According to some scholars, this copy is even more significant than the copy you see in the National Archives because it's the first copy that we, the people of the United States, actually saw. And citizens of Pennsylvania could buy it for, I think it's 4 pence, and it's printed here, and this is what Pennsylvanians saw for the first time as they read their new Constitution. So basically, George Washington sent out to the states for when the Bill of Rights was proposed in 1789, 13 original copies and 1 copy to the federal government. 12 of those copies survive. This copy has been in the New York Public Library for 100 years, and through a historic agreement, the Public Library and the National Constitution Center and the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania have agreed to share this document for the next 100 years. So we're going to display this for 3 years until 2017, and it goes back to New York and back to us like a precious constitutional football. So you go see the original Bill of Rights, then you walk over here, and there's this beautiful display. We commissioned Philadelphia artists to come up with artistic renditions of each of the first 10 amendments. Right here is the 3rd Amendment. I'm going to try to identify them without even looking at it. This is no soldier shall in time of peace be quartered in any house without the consent of the owner. So here's the 4th Amendment, which is much discussed today. I love these wonderful renditions, which so vividly capture the essence of the amendment. That's speedy trial, and it's a clock along with a gavel. Nice touch. So this is a new project that the National Constitution Center has developed in conjunction with Constitute, which is a website funded by Google. You can trace the historic sources of each amendment. So, for example, if we want to look at a particular amendment, like the first, we can press on it, start exploring, and see that the original First Amendment had antecedents in the Revolutionary Era state constitutions. So the Virginia Declaration of Rights has a version that looks very much like the First Amendment. The similarities are actually highlighted, as did the Pennsylvania Declaration of Rights. So you can click on any provision that's in the Bill of Rights and watch how that liberty spread to constitutions across the entire globe. So look at this. Collection of evidence. We were talking about the 4th Amendment earlier, the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated. Well, let's try to zoom in and see what happened in Japan, which adopted a version of the American 4th Amendment when General MacArthur basically cut and paste the American Constitution and put it into the Japanese Constitution. Look how similar the American 4th Amendment and the Japanese 4th Amendment are. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. This is the first sneak preview that we've ever released about the gallery. We're opening on Monday, December 15th on Bill of Rights Day with a blowout event that will include a constitutional book fair with 4 different constitutional books, kids reading the Bill of Rights, the governor cutting the ribbon, and soon citizens all over the country and all over the region from Philadelphia to California will be able to come to the National Constitution Center. We are now one of the only places in the country, aside from the National Archives, that has all rare copies of all 3 precious documents of freedom in one place: the Declaration, the Constitution, and the Bill of Rights. Come see it at the National Constitution Center.